Good day everyone. Good day. Now in this video I am about to perform how to do or perform a router configuration using the TP-Link AC750 dual band router, which is a Archer C24. Now dual band means that it has a 2G and 5G. So it also has a different mode on its box description. Same time, okay. Now this is our router, a dual band. Now in this setup we have already used a switch. It is a 8-port switch. So coming from our router, one connection coming from our router and going to our switch, an 8-port type of switch, a network devices. Now from our switch, from this switch, it has a connection of LAN cable that will go through or go to the system unit. This is one is for the server and also one for the client. So this one is one for the client and goes to our client. Now the light indicator means our LAN cable is okay. This is a stock LAN cable coming from the router. So how to access our router? So first things first is you need to check if there is assigned IP or not in our system unit or the computer. So to check is all you need to do is Windows R on your keyboard and type ncpa.cpl. Now in case that there is no LAN area connection, you need to install LAN driver. So to check, open properties, IP version 4, and check if there is no assigned IP address. Because if there is assigned IP address, the tendency is that you cannot access the router itself. Okay, then we have to close it. Now next step is you need to open CMD, Windows R CMD, and type ipconfig. Now as you can see, there is no yet IP address and at the same time default gateway. All you need to do is go to your router and then restart on its back panel. This is the back panel of our router, the reset, and hold it the back panel. There is also a light indicator to check if we have done the resetting of our router. To check, it will just off, on, and there you go. That's all. Off. Okay, it's on, and that's all. Now, go back to your PC or the CMD, the command prompt, and type again the ipconfig. So it must show in this portion the IP address and at the same time the default gateway to access our router, the dual band. So again, or you can unplug it and then go back, put it back right away. So the resetting of the router is optional if it is your personal router by means of it is connected to our ISP. ISP means Internet Service Provider. Example is Starlink. Now, because it is optional by means of that the router is configured already. So if you reset it, the tendency is it will restore to its original default the setup of configuring the router. Again, restart. And I'm just holding the reset button at the back panel of the router. And we have to go back again to our CMD and type ipconfig. Oops. Again, since it did not show up, you can also try on our client. Windows R, CMD, type config. So in this portion, as you can see, our IP address still has a default, assigned already, maybe assigned already. Change adapter, advanced sharing, change adapter, not that one. Change adapter option. Okay, can check if there is assigned IP address. So there is no assigned IP address. How about we unplug and then put it back on the LAN port of our system unit. So it will just like this because it will need, it needs to. Okay, now as you can see, this is what I mean of you can see that it has default gateway and IP address, so that will be coming from our router DHCP. To access or to configure our router is means of we need to know the default gateway, the 192.168.0.1. that is the default gateway of our router. If you reset it or put it to its original default gateway, so 192.168.0.1, wrong, 192 again, 192.168.0.1. so that's the to access our router. Okay, now if you encountered just like this one, all you need to do is unplug your router to its power. Unplug this one, unplug. Okay, and put it back. Okay, and we need again to access the router via browser, Google. Will it change? ncpa.cpa. So here's our network. We need to open CMD. Oh, make sure you write the names CM and IP config. So that's all. So as you can see, since we encountered that lately that we cannot access the configuration of the router, so what I have done is I just have to unplug the power cable coming or going to our router. Now this will be the setup if you restart the router. So I just have to assign again a password since I already format the password at the same time the configuration of the router. So I'll just have to save this one, and then since I'm in the Philippines, I'll just have to use the time zone of Kuala Lumpur. And next, and I don't have internet at the moment, can also change the name like router config. So just have to change already. So this means that once I change the Wi-Fi or the wireless connection, it will also change the 5G name also. So this is the 2G name and this is the 5G gigahertz name. At the same time, it has a password, and you can also change the password. Example 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So that will also change the 5G password. So just have to next, and this will be the confirmation settings to check if we already changed, and just have to next and just wait for this moment. And then so this is the continuation. We'll just have to skip this one, skip this portion, skip, and then now this is our router setup, the TP-Link Archer C24. If we go to the network map, we can see the different connection, the internet, the router, and the desktop, the two desktop. And we have also the internet, dynamic IP, the MAC clone, and we also have the wireless, which is our Wi-Fi. We can change the name, the password from 2G to 5G. So that's all. And then we can also have the advanced setting. Now in advanced setting, it has operation mode and NAT, format, parenting control, if you want to block a site or whatsoever, so that your children cannot access those explicit form of content or sexual whatsoever. Now if we go to this network in this portion, the network, we can find the status, the internet, the LAN, and at the same time the IPTV, or you can connect to your TV, and at the same time the multicast and the DHCP server, which shows that this will allow how many users can access your router. Now this is a modifiable by means of you can modify which classification of IP address you can put in this area, the IP address pool, and you can also identify who is that user connecting to your internet connection. Now in this portion, we want to change the DHCP server. What if we change it to from 192, we change it to 168, or we can also change to 120.120.1, because the 120 defined as the class P. Now the one also defined as the user. Who's that user? Which means that in this area is the start, and in this area is the end of the DHCP server, the range of users. So if I put 120, then I must also change this area into 120.120. And if I want only that there is 10 people can access this connection, then I'll just put 9. So this means that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or I mean not 9, you can also put 10. So this means that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 users. I just have to save, and then in the LAN area is the IP address of our router. Since we already know that this IP address is coming from the default gateway. If we open our CMD, we can find that the IP address of the router is 192.168.0.1, but when it comes to the CMD, it is the default gateway of the computer. Again, to access our router is coming from the default gateway. So this is the IP address of the router, the 192.168.0.1. So we have to close this one, and then if we want to change, we can change it so that it has example 1.1.1.1. This is a class A. If we save this one, okay, so exit operation succeeded. Once we already know that the default gateway of the router is, the default gateway or the IP address of the router is 192.168.0.1. If we want to access this, we cannot open it, or we cannot proceed with this IP address because we already changed into 1.1.1.1, and this will the access pool for our router. So again, we open the CMD and type ipconfig. It must the 1.1.1.1 is the access to our router. and again open NCPA, and then we need to disable and enabling again. So enable. So what if we open the CMD to verify if we already changed the LAN access to our router? So this is what I mean. So the default gateway already be changed because in our router we changed the IP address of the router into 1.1.1.1. But if it is in CMD, opening up CMD, the IP config, it will just show under the default gateway, the 1.1.1. So that's how to access our router. So we changed already the IP address of the router. At the same time, we already assigned the password now. So that's how you will change the IP address of your router so that no one will know. At the same time, you can also set the user of our router. So we can set the user that can access, so via the DHCP, the dynamic host configuration protocol server. So this will set how many user can access. So in case this one, I'll just have to set 10, and I want 5 users can access only. So that means that we have 14. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 5 user can access via this 10 starting IP address and 14 end IP address of user. So 1.1.1.10, the start, and the end is the 1.1.14. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 5 users only is allowed. So I just have to save, and to check if the DHCP server will show up, I'll just need to open my phone, and then I have to go to the router. So this is my router config, is the Wi-Fi name of our router, this one. So router config is the name of our Wi-Fi. So we just open and then type the password. So the password of our wireless connection is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So that's I have to put this area. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So I just have to show again. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and connect. So we are now being connected to our router. To check if the DHCP will show up to a user, network, open network, and then open network, and then find the DHCP server. So the IP address pool for our user is the start and end. So it means that 10, 1.1.1.10.11.12.13.14. So 5 users only allowed. So to check if which user we're being connected with IP address pool is, we have to open our router. So as you can see, the IP address of my phone is that is connected to our Wi-Fi is 1.1.1.10. So that will be coming from the start. Okay, now to check also whose users or devices that is connected to our router, you just have to find the client. This one, the client. Just open the client, and then it will show up the name of the devices that is connected to our network. So the Realme C2 is my phone IP address. So, and this one is the server, and this one is the client desktop. So if I want to block this user, you can also change the name of the device. For example, this is the device of Mark device. You can also identify whose user is that. Not just by phone, because by phone means there are a lot to know whose user is that. So if we want to block Mark, since Mark is connected, we'll just have to find the network map find the network map, and find the client, this portion, the client. And then find the device that you want to block. Since we already named it as marked device, then we have to find this under the operation. Under the operation, this one, by clicking on this, it will show a prompt, means that blocking this device will add to the block list and will no longer be available to access the internet. Do you want to continue? You just have to block. This means that it will also show up on our phone that this device is being blocked. No matter how forget the password it will do, if you already know the password or scan, he or she can still not connect in this connection because his device MAC address is being blocked. So if I continue, so just show us connecting, but so again we cannot access now the router. So that's how you can block the device. And you can also show or see in this view blacklist portion the device that is being blocked. So this is the marked device and the MAC address. So the device address is the MAC address. So by means that no matter how he will forget the password or scan again the QR code, as long as his MAC address is being blocked, the device itself address can no longer access the internet connection or the network connection coming from the router or the network. So that's how you can block a device. So that's all. Thank you.